Good afternoon and welcome to SPHERE. We come in live from Lesedi television to come and share with you all the sporting activities results that happened over the weekend. I know in particular people are watching World Cup, which is coming to us all the way from the United States of America, Mexico, and Canada. It is something that we are glued to at our screens at home. But here, local at home, there are some sporting activities that took place over the weekend. In particular, the Legends, Clash of the Legends, as they call it, I beg your pardon, took place over the weekend. We're going to be talking about that. And in our second and last segment of our show, we're going to be taking a look at the World Cup, which is ongoing. I'm not alone in the studio as usual. I'm with Robert Sipambe, but let me start by introducing myself. My name is Thomas Mozakumo. I'm not alone, like I said, I'm with Robert Sipambe. Let me give him a golden handshake. Robbie, I'm taking this time to welcome you, my brother.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's always good to be here.
It's always good to be here.
Yeah.
Over the weekend, Rob, the Clash of the Legends took place in Gaborone. The fourth edition successfully took place here in a wet weather in Gaborone, but the weather didn't stop it.
Yeah, the weather did not stop it. You could see the football lovers in particular who wanted to experience to feel the touch of the history of legends. They wanted to remind themselves how they were watching those legends playing there. The likes of Brand Baloyi was there, Thabo Tsikitsiki Moloi, Jabu Pule were there, even the Orlando Pirates legends were there, even our Genos here, Mkhori Kabonamong, were playing your likes of Lolo Musojani, if you remember him at Township Rollers, Ponzo Piromuloi from Center Chiefs. It was a good weekend for football.
It was a good weekend for football, Robbie. People are saying that the organization, the planning of the event itself is top notch.
Yeah, top notch. Big up to the organizers and the people who initiated the Clash of the Legends initiative. It was good, well organized, and apart from the weather, people were there. The ambience was there. What I picked and what I liked from the game, like you were saying, talking about the organization in particular. What was my first time to see the perimeter advertisement, which was visual,
a new development,
from Impact Media. It was very good to see that. It's my first time to see it happening in the National Stadium. So big up to Clash of the Legends organizers.
Yes, big up to them for bringing that digital advertising perimeter board. We're hoping that it's going to be a thing that will always be also be used in our Botswana Premier League games. Maybe, hopefully so. Robbie, let us now go straight to the games themselves. We saw 4 games taking place, and like we were saying, exciting because people wanted to, we're taking down the memory lane. I mean, you can imagine seeing your Pino Mangalas, your Genos. You can imagine seeing the likes of, I think I've seen Leboga Mokoena also playing there.
Leboga Mokoena was there, yes.
A whole lot
well,
of
Beleno Vete was also there. So apart from the excitement that we anticipated, we expected, I personally felt that the games were intense. There is no an easy game or a friendly game between Township Rollers and Muchudi Center Chiefs. That is what I realized, because the game was so tense that it's like all the players they wanted to play like the Premier League active players. So at some point, one supporter, I was sitting next to some supporters saying they felt the games are tense. It's like it's a league, but 1.5 million in those games, it's a lot of money that it played for. So a lot of supporters were saying they did not see that flair that they anticipated, like a social football. So they saw a tense match, like a Premier League match. But for me, I think the players came, they pitched up, and they did very well for the supporters.
In the first game, we saw Muchudi Center Chiefs walloping their arch rivals, like we've been saying, in Township Rollers by 4 goals to 2. The second game, the Soweto Derby happening here in Gaborone over the weekend. We saw Kaizer Chiefs losing to Orlando Pirates by a solitary goal.
Yeah, there's something that I picked from the 2 games that you just mentioned. When you look at Muchudi Center Chiefs squad that was playing over the weekend and Township Rollers squad, during their time when they were playing, Center Chiefs dominated that squad. So they won the game. It was like a deja vu. Something happened that happened in the past. It was just like that. And you look at Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs. And when I looked at the lineup of Kaizer Chiefs and the lineup of Pirates, by that time, during the time when those guys were active, Orlando Pirates was dominating Kaizer Chiefs. So it happened like Orlando Pirates winning the South African derby and Muchudi Center Chiefs winning. And when you look at the back time, those teams were dominating at that time.
In the losers final, the two losers who lost in the first games, that is Township Rollers and Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah.
Township Rollers making sure that they don't lose at home, but
your William Katsande at some point playing up front, and Ningo Masha playing the central defense, as you know. So it was a team made up of midfielders. So Township Rollers came up with a very good team, structured team. Your defense, Bololo Musojani in the middle, up front. They had their players, FC Tirele, so he was also there. So it was a good game for Township Rollers, as they were the third best on the day.
The final game, Orlando Pirates burying Muchudi Center Chiefs by 3-0 to become the champions of the Clash of the Legends 2026.
Yeah, that one was a class. From Orlando Pirates' performance, you could see they were the guys moving the ball. They were not running, they were just moving the ball. And the Muchudi Center Chiefs came with a lot of energy in the first half, and the energy lapsed. The second half, the legs were so tired. You could see now these are legends. So they were not even able to lift their legs and kick the ball. So Orlando Pirates capitalized on that, and they scored 3 goals.
3 goals. Robbie, what does it mean to about the two countries, the friendship, the relationship that we have as South Africa and Botswana?
Yeah, I think the objective of the games for Clash of the Legends is for a purpose. As you know, they're helping those who are underprivileged who are sports people. At first, when they started, it was they were only helping football people, but now we see they've cast their net wide and cover a lot of people, beneficiaries. So apart from the games and the weather and everything, the good cause, I think they've achieved what they wanted to achieve. It's very important to have international relations and remind people about what the two countries can do. When we talk of South Africa and Botswana, they're relatives, and it's a good thing to see legends coming back and giving out to the community as well. I think that is the part that I saw it, and it was touching to see Orlando Pirates legends and Kaizer Chiefs legends coming to honor the Clash of the Legends game for a purpose.
Like you're saying, Robbie, we know that the first edition in 2023, the second edition was in 2024, and the third edition was last year. This is the fourth one. We know for sure, like we've been talking about, beneficiaries. This is a charity game, and for us seeing these players coming all the way to make sure that they have a contribution towards a good cause, and also supporters coming in large numbers to do the same. Yeah,
it's a good thing. As you know that a sport is a very short career, especially here in the southern part of the world. So it's a very short career. Two, it doesn't pay well. When these guys are active, they don't pay well. Those guys who are not privileged enough, so they have a short career. So to see guys coming here, it shows the seriousness of the games.
It shows the seriousness of the games. Ladies and gentlemen at home, let me remind you that last year, in the third edition of Clash of the Legends, some of the people who became beneficiaries, some of them, Robbie Rob, are no longer with us. As you can see down here, that the likes of the late Stanley Sosane, the likes of Major David Bright, Kitumetse Pure Paul, and Masidiso Sextentqua benefited. Their families benefited through Clash of the Legends. And we also had former players in the likes of Lamet Ladinyana and Mudiri Matengu, who used to be in front of us watching them week in, week out. It benefited former coaches and former players, even though some of them are late.
Yeah, which is good. Their families, they benefited from the initiative. I think to see the Clash of the Legends honoring all those departed legends, because those were the legends of the game. So it's an honor to see that happening.
It's an honor to see that happening. This year, I understand that one of the former players in Sox, Molanta, will be one of the beneficiaries, and some of the people that I think very soon the committee of Clash of the Legends will be making that pronunciation to who's going to be benefiting. But like I said, I've heard from the corners that Sox Molanta will be one of the beneficiaries. We're going for a short break. When we come back, we're going to be going straight to World Cup.
This is Lesedi Television. This is Lesedi Television. This is Lesedi Television.
Welcome to the second segment of SPHERE. We continue with our show. Like I said before the break, we're now going to World Cup, which is taking place in USA, Mexico, and Canada. I know most of you, like I said when I introduced the show, are very much glued into seeing who's going to be the eventual champion this time around. This, you know that Argentina are the defending champions. So far, this is the 11th day of the tournament, of the 39 days that the tournament will be played along. And so far, 40 matches have been played. And my understanding is that 121 goals, Ruby Rob, have been scored so far, but we still have a long way to go.
Yeah, the World Cup is exciting. When you look at the superstars that people are expecting them to perform, that do exactly that. We saw the last one being Mo Salah yesterday. I think it's yesterday or in the morning in their game. But what is thrilling to me is to see the technical approaches of the second games of the group stage. So you can see that it's no longer about scoring more goals. It's about being careful of what you are doing in preparing to the next stage. And then the effect of the second half effects, where you see the substitute changing the game. It's more about, you don't see substitute just team substituting because of tired legs. We now see coaches substituting because they want to shift something, they want to change something, they want to change the results. So there are phases of play that we notice at the World Cup. You don't just throw your net and then just say I'm going for it. So we see games played into bits of tactical chunks that allows teams to go forward, because every team wants to go forward. The second game now, we see change of formations, teams utilizing superstars, second half coming in and making a change in the game, which is very interesting. And you see your likes of Cape Verde, the country that people think that they are there just to add numbers, but they're doing their job very well. Curacao, you see them how they are playing. Teams like Ecuador, you look at their FIFA rankings, 100 and something FIFA there, and you see them coming up against big guns, both Germany and Spain.
Robbie, is there a growth in the games? Last week, me and you, when we were here, we were saying, okay, fine, it's the first game. Maybe teams are rusty. Maybe players have not acclimatized. Maybe they haven't adjusted. All the teams, almost all the teams, have played their second matches. Are we seeing a difference? Because remember, there's only one game left. Each group has got 4 teams, which means each country or each team has to play 3 games. Some of the teams already have played 2 games. They are left only with 1 game to go. Is there any growth? Is there any difference? Is there any, determination, intentions, commitment, passion to show that, look, we want to see ourselves going to the last 32?
Yeah, I was talking about the planned phases of the game. It shows you how the gear has changed. At first, teams were playing their first games. They did not know each other very well. The players did not know each other very well. Remember, those players were coming from different clubs, different leagues, and then coming to the national team camp. First game, the coach is still finding their grounds. The players still trying to understand each other. So we are bound to see those slow games, silly mistakes, those errors that end up team being punished. But when you go for the second game in the group, we see now things that are planned, that are intentional. You see the intensity and the intentionality of the teams, that they want to change something. It is not about panic. You don't see panic changes. We don't see silly mistakes. We see minimum mistakes. So to me, the gear has changed in terms of playing the second game. And it is going to change again when they are playing the last games of the group. Because this time around, they will be playing at the same time. Because now we want to see who are going to the last 32. So I see a tactical change and very, very thrilling games.
Is this something that you expected, that at this level, at this age of the World Cup? We have previously watched a few World Cups before, but are you seeing growth in terms of the competition, the event itself?
I see growth, because I judge growth looking at the teams that are called minors. You see, teams like African teams. One of the European legends once mentioned that now the World Cup is going to be boring because there are 10 African teams and 5 Asian teams that is not going to be interesting. But that was not true. That was just an unfortunate statement to say. So we see growth, and these teams that are called minors, they're competing. They're going head to head with big teams. You look at your Ivory Coast, even though they lost against Germany, you could see that they're dominating. Look at how Morocco is playing against this country. The only country that is maybe suffering there is Tunisia. But when you look at other teams like Haiti, and people are expecting to see 11 being scored, conceding 11 goals. But it's different. The tactical gap has been closed, and each and every team they're fighting there.
Robbie, 3 countries have already made it to the last 32. Is it putting pressure on other teams to say, look, if Germany, if Mexico, and the other team is USA have gone through, and again, talking about Mexico and USA, they are part of the hosting nations. That makes it even more exciting.
Mexico and USA, they are using the home ground advantage, and they've maximized and they use that to their advantage. We see them as one of the first teams to qualify for last 32. and it shows, like I'm saying, it shows the kind of the type of level that the games are at. Right now, no team is very sure that they're going to the last 32. It shows how competitive the games are, and there's no team that you can rule out. So every team is going to be fighting for their spot in the last 32. The games are at high level.
Maybe I just want us to take a look at the games as they started last week. I don't know whether we should be starting last week when
Friday. I think the Friday's game, because we covered those ones on Monday.
Yes, we covered
on the Monday show. Yeah.
Yes, Friday we saw. I think here I'm seeing. No, this is a Wednesday. Friday we saw Group B, Canada taking on Qatar, and Canada scoring 6 goals. Mexico against South Korea, and Mexico winning the game by 1-0. USA against Australia in Group D. USA winning that game by 2-0. And again on Saturday, we saw Scotland versus Morocco. Morocco losing, winning that game by 1-0. African representative doing very well there. They're making us proud, Robbie.
They're making us proud. Look at how South Africa also came back for the second game. We saw a much refined tactical approach from South Africa. We saw Morocco how they were playing. We saw Cote d'Ivoire how they are playing. We saw Egypt how they're also playing. They are representing us well. Cape Verde, people thought they're just 80 numbers. You remember Zebras won against Cape Verde home and away, and people are surprised and they're thinking Zebras could have gone to the World Cup. But Cape Verde is a totally different team from what I see now in the World Cup. So the African teams are doing well, except for Tunisia, like I was saying, and they changed the coach, Tunisia, in the World Cup. Changing a coach in that stage is not an easy thing. They're going to be struggling. I think they should come back home and sit down and strategize and give the men have Renard, the experience that he has.
Man.
Yes, they should give him the team and a 3-year contract or 4-year contract to build Tunisia, because for me, Tunisia now is a sleeping giant.
In Group E, Germany against Ivory Coast. I don't know how come that Ivory Coast lost that game. Me and you off air, we are talking about that game, that Ivory Coast could have wrapped the game up in the first stanza.
I think African countries, we are used to be the whipping boys. Even when the chances provided to us, we can't even see that we have to win the game. We still want to be inferior and respect those countries. Ivory Coast could have wrapped the game and won against Germany, like Morocco does to other teams and Egypt does to other teams. So I don't know what Ivory Coast now sitting on 3 points. Germany already qualified with 6 points. We are going to see how Ivory Coast is going to play against Curacao, a country which plays for nothing. They don't have any pressure. So now the pressure is on Cote d'Ivoire to impress and represent Africa well.
Robbie, let's go to Group H, where we saw Spain playing against Saudi Arabia, scoring 4 goals against Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay playing against Cape Verde. Cape Verde, which held Spain to a 1. There was a draw.
Yes.
There was a draw. And again, Cape Verde this time around saying to another European team to say, look, you cannot beat us. They held Uruguay to a 2-0 draw.
Yeah, we see Spain leading with 4 points, if I'm not mistaken, and followed between Cape Verde and Uruguay, which one will and even Spain. It is not yet given that Spain is qualified.
Egypt making sure that they also raise the African flag very high. They beat New Zealand by 3-1 to 3 goals to 1. We saw Mohamed Salah also and Trezeguet making sure that they also score in that game.
Yeah, a lot of people anticipated that Belgium will be leading that group. But you see how it is now. Egypt has got 4 points, and then followed by Iran, which has got 2, and then Belgium 2 points. So we are going to see how Belgium is going to come back after their performance. They are doing very well, Belgium. They are playing very well. And it's only that they don't convert their chances. They are not clinical up front, but they're playing very well. They're a team sometimes with a shaky defense when you look at them. But from the middle going up front, they're a very strong team. I think they will go with Egypt, and then maybe New Zealand will be the best runners-up. But Iran, it's a very strong team.
It's a very strong team.
Yeah.
Yes. With a lot of talks before the World Cup, we know that politically the situation back home is not stable. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, only 40 games so far have been played. More is still to be played, but now we are heading to a stage where each team will be left with only 1 game to play, and men will be separated from boys. I believe that African teams I still believe that South Africa still has a chance. I still believe Egypt have shown it. As for Tunisia, they are already out of the tournament. We still believe that Morocco still has a chance to also go into the last 32. Robbie Rob, in the last 32, we expect that.
Yeah, we still also have DRC as well.
DRC
we did not talk about DRC as well. That's one of the countries that is very strong.
Yes.
Yes.
But now what is going to pan out is that the 32 teams will be composed of each group, because there are 2 groups. There are 12 groups.
Yes.
It will be having 2 top teams and the 3rd best placed teams going into the last 32.
That will be 8 of them. So we have a lot of teams have got chance to go to the last 32. And what is going to happen then in the knockout stage is up to the teams how they are going to apply themselves. Now, like I was saying, we see a more consecutive approaches from the coaches when they get to the next stage. Now, after qualifying, anything can happen in the knockout stages.
Anything can happen in the knockout stages. Big up to the teams that are doing very well, especially teams from South Africa. I still have my back on South Africa because they're coming from the very same region where we are based, that is the Kosafa region. We're looking forward to seeing them play against South Korea in their last game and hoping for the best. We're going for a break. When we come back, we're going to be continuing with the World Cup by taking a look at the lock standings, or let me say the group standings. Yes, for sure.
This is Lesedi Television. This is Lesedi Television.
The group standings, as you know, that there are 12 groups of teams that are playing at the World Cup. So we want to see, we're going to talk about, normally in football, we talk permutations, chances. What if this happens? Yes. But this time around, we say it's permutations. Let's take a look at especially group number Group A. Mexico has already qualified as the host. You take a look again at Group B. Canada as the host nation as well. They also stand a chance of also qualifying when Robbie Rob. USA, they've already qualified. They're also the host nation. And Germany in Group E, they've already qualified.
Yeah, let's start with Group A, where we find Mexico, South Korea, and Czechia and South Africa. So Czechia and South Africa, they can go as far as 4 points.
Yeah.
And then South Korea can go as far as 6 points. For Mexico, they can go as far as 9 points. So you can see it's between South Korea and one of the two that can be maybe the best third country there. So for Mexico, it is done. It's between South Korea, Czechia, and South Africa to see which one will go. Which one will go, because the two can make 4. If South Korea don't win their game, doesn't win that game, then they'll drop. So every team there has got something to play for. You look at Group B: Canada, Switzerland, and Bosnia and Qatar.
Yeah.
Those two bottom 3 and number 4, Bosnia and Qatar, they can go as far as 4 points. Switzerland is at 4, Canada is at 4. You can see the group is still open there for all of those teams. What if Canada and Switzerland, they lose the game? Those two teams, they have got 4 points. Now we will go to goal difference, a goal against and everything. So now go to Brazil group, has got 4, Morocco has got 4, Scotland has got 3, and Haiti 0. So we can.
It's an open one as well.
It's an open one for the top 3: Brazil, Morocco, and
Haiti.
As for Haiti, they're gone.
Yeah.
I don't think they can. They've conceded a lot of goals.
Yeah.
That is going to eliminate them. Obviously, you go to Group D, you find USA, Australia, Paraguay, and Turkey. USA already qualified with 6 points. They can go as far as maximum 9 points. And you look at Australia, they can go as far as 6 points as well. And then Paraguay can go as 6 points. Turkey can go as far as 3 points.
Yeah.
3 points can qualify them as long as they don't concede a lot of goals. Then we will see how it goes there. Between Paraguay and Australia, one of them will be the runners-up in that group.
I see. And then Group E, the German machine is there.
Yeah, the German machine is there. They can have maximum of 9 points if they apply themselves well. Cote d'Ivoire, they need to win their game. Because if they don't win their game, one of the countries that wins the game there is going to have 4 points. Curacao and Ecuador. If they win, their chances, if one beat Germany and the other one beat the Cote d'Ivoire themselves, which means Cote d'Ivoire will be eliminated. So they will still have something to play for in that group.
Let us talk about Group E. Ecuador and Curacao, they are not pushovers. We have seen them.
Yes.
Again, they are close books.
Cote d'Ivoire is taking Curacao.
Yes.
And Ecuador is taking Germany. Looking at the inconsistency of the German team, that team is inconsistent for a very long time. They've been doing that in the Euros. They've been doing it in Euros.
You're taking into account the previous World Cups or this current World Cup.
Even the current World Cup.
But they're doing well. There are 2 games.
That is what I mean. They're not consistent in terms of their performance.
Yeah.
They're doing well because of the errors that they were playing minors. Caracas it's a minor team, a small team. You can say, looking at the FIFA rankings and how the team football development it is in that country. Germany could have been dominating these teams, so they're struggling. You are going to be surprised to see Ecuador hammering Germany if they don't apply themselves properly there.
Okay, let's go to Group F: Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, and Tunisia. A disappointment in me. I mean, in Tunisia, they seem to have forgotten everything. Tactically, they are poor. You don't know what they are doing inside the field of play.
If you can remember, well, Tunisia they did not lose any game in the qualifiers. So they gave people, the Tunis, an impression that they have a good team. They did not lose. They started losing. They did not even concede more than 2 goals in their qualifying games.
And also changing the coach.
And then now, surprisingly, they're hammered 4-0 and all the likes. And it seems like the team that is not prepared is not prepared to play in that. So that is why I'm saying they should go back and regroup and reflect and start building a team. And they start to be honest about themselves.
Yeah.
They are the country, remember, that they wanted out of Africa. They wanted to go out of Africa. But with but with the kind of football they are playing, it shows that they're still learning a lot of
Egypt
things.
yesterday beating New Zealand, they did themselves a great favor. They're now at the top of the group.
Yeah, for Egypt, they need only 1 point and they'll be done. They'll be playing Iran, which is also a difficult team to play. So the good group is still open. New Zealand can go up to 4 points. Belgium can go up to 5 points, and Iran can also go to up to 5 points. So Egypt has got something to play for. All the teams there, they've got something to play for.
Group H, there we see the European champions that are in the same group with Cape Verde, who are very unpredictable.
Yeah, no, I like how the Spain is moving with the ball. I like how they play. I like how they move in between. They're interchanging of that. You see, it's a old machine, but they have to wrap it up in the group stage and go forward. I think going forward is much easier to play in a knockout game than in group stage. Most of the team, we are going to see a different Spain when they go forward. But for Cape Verde, they still have it as well, and Saudi Arabia also. If they win one game, they have 4 points. And Cape Verde, if they win, they also have 5 points. So the group is still open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Group I up to the last group, all the countries or all the teams, they've played only one game. There isn't a lot that maybe we can talk about. But
yeah,
we
those
have
3 groups.
Your Argentina's there, you have your Algeria there, who lost their first game, your Colombia, your DRC that we've been talking about earlier on. England is also there in Group L with Ghana, Panama, and Croatia. We expected that maybe the likes of Ghana can also continue with how they started. DRC, they played a draw in their first game. They still have a chance. I'm looking at Uzbekistan, countries like your Colombia, even Portugal is not yet convincing at this point.
Yeah, in all those groups from Group J, Group J, Argentina, Austria, Jordan, Algeria, still open there. You go to Colombia, your DRC, your Portugal, your Uzbekistan, anything can happen there. And they're still yet to play the second fixture of the group. And then you look at England, you look at Ghana, Panama, and Croatia. But you look at Ghana, how they play, and how England is a solid team. So I think I tip those 2, England and Ghana, will go forward.
Will go forward.
Yeah.
Now let's take a look at the upcoming fixtures when I read it up today. Yes. Group G is new. No, it's not Group G. It's Group J.
Group J. Yes.
Argentina will be taking Austria, and later today again France will be taking on Iraq. It seems as if France as well, they have a point to prove.
Yeah, France have a point to prove. You know, they dominate in terms of
PSG
playing.
also winning.
Yes,
the Champions League.
It's a motivation to them, but look at the France team. It's a very solid team. They can go. I think they will go through.
Tomorrow, the stage will be set as well. Group I, Norway will be taking on the African. Do you call them the African champions in Senegal?
Yes, they're the African champions.
For sure.
For sure. Officially, they're African champions.
Group J, Jordan versus Algeria, and Group K, Portugal will be taking Uzbekistan. And Group L, England will be taking Ghana. The much awaited.
It's going to be a tough match between England and Ghana.
We
yes,
Africans, we want to see Ghana beating England. Semenyo, born in UK in England, but playing for Ghana, his country where one of the parents is coming from.
Yeah, you see now you can see. Look at the European teams that made 100% of African players, and then they choose to play for those countries. So it shows you the talent, the amount of talent that the African continent has.
Definitely, ladies and gentlemen, this is all what we had for. The World Cup is still ongoing, so we still have more to talk about it. Robbie, let me take this time, my brother, to also thank you for always being here. I think next week, Monday, again, we're going to be sharing with our viewers at home what happened over the weekend or in the previous encounters. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's always good to be here, Timmy.
It's always good to be with you,
Yeah.
Rob. Ladies and gentlemen at home, we also thank you for being with us today. We invite you to be with us next week. My name is Thomas Muzakumo signing out. Bye-bye.